Warning, the following podcast contains coarse language and spoilers for the film and the title of the podcast.
Now playing movie reviews in 20 Qs.
Hello, good people, and welcome to the podcast Movie Reviews in 20 Qs, the show where we review a movie by asking 20 weird and wonderful questions about it. I'm your host, Sam, and I'm joined this week by one of my usuals, Kahu. How you doing, Kahu?
Hey, apart from the no feeling in my feet, I'm doing great.
Well, we are sitting out in a very cold garage, aren't we?
Yes. I can't feel my feet when I'm with you, Sam.
Jesus Christ. I was going to say we bleed for our art, but that's way more disturbing and clever than I expected from you. But
compliment, maybe?
No compliments around here. The other person that's joining me this week, special treat for you guys, our lovely listeners, it's Liz. How you doing, Liz?
Hey, I'm just sitting here judging you because neither of you guys would survive on the island of Costa Maltese for very long.
Corto Maltese?
Corto Maltese.
Whatever it is.
One of us, the funny part about this, listeners, is one of us finished watching the movie 5 minutes ago, and it's not the girl that just said, it is the girl that literally just said Corto Maltese. So
I said Costa Maltese.
Costa Maltese, sorry, yeah. It is the girl that completely fucked up. Now I'm fucking up.
Well, you're a fuck up generally, so we've come to expect it.
That's right, and this week we are watching a movie that's full of fuck-ups. We are watching the film The Suicide Squad. Literally just came out, directed by James Gunn. Stars Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Idris Elba as Bloodsport, Sylvester Stallone as King Shark, John Cena as Peacemaker, Joel Kinnaman as Flag, Taika Waititi's in there as well, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. That's pretty much the main ones. Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. Fuck, who cares?
You do like your Jai Courtney.
I do love my Jai Courtney. Shut up, Kahu. Fuck it. Who told you that?
I was highly amused when I found out that the shark was Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, so was I. Yeah. Doesn't it just suit him?
Top quality.
Top quality, absolutely. Perfect voice for it.
Yeah, it's like the Vin Diesel casting as Groot.
Exactly. Looking at the scores for this film, 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb and 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh.
Those are some high scores by potentially a very high audience. I don't know what else to say. If you haven't seen this film, we're going to give you a plot. If you're not planning on watching it, I mean, most people are. It's the most popular film out at the moment, so most people have probably seen this. But if you're not planning on watching this film, the person who's watched it the most recently is going to give you a plot, which, as we mentioned, is Liz. What was the plot of this film, Liz?
It was actually pretty straightforward, Sam. Two Suicide Squad teams go to Corto Maltese, this tiny island country, and have to team up to protect the country, if not the world, from a giant, terrifying starfish.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So we'll just get into it. Here's our usual spiel. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, what we do is we review a movie by asking 20 weird and wonderful questions about it. We start with 10 that can be applied to any film. We then move into 3 personal questions that we thought of while watching this film. And then we finish on either a listener question or a Patreon question. And this week, it is a Patreon question. The one we always start with is the compliment sandwich, which is one thing good, one thing bad, and one thing good about this film. Alternatively, if we want, we can give it a shit sandwich, which is one thing bad, one thing good, and one thing bad. The disclaimer being that, if you're going to give it a compliment sandwich, it's a score over 5,000 out of 10,000, or it's a shit sandwich if it's a score under 5,000. And so, Liz, why don't you start us off?
Okay, I'm keeping this short and sweet, Sam. I have a 2-word description for each of my parts here. My first is a compliment. It is hilariously stupid. That sounds bad. It's actually pretty good. I really liked it. It was really funny and ridiculous. My second item was that it was unnecessarily gross. It was way too much blood and gore for me. Way too much. And my final statement is that it was vividly colourful. I loved all of the pretty colours and the designs and the flowers and all of that, which makes it a compliment sandwich, and I'm giving it a score of 7,447 javelins.
I was absolutely convinced that you weren't going to enjoy this film.
Is that because I came on this podcast being super grumpy?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It could be that it's past your bedtime, or, I think every time's past your bedtime, but
I
hey,
just
who knows?
don't like your face. I just don't like your face.
Who fucking does?
No, it's good. Unnecessarily gross, but good.
That being said, though, we do have a scene where a guy comes out of his hut just hanging full dong, like airing out his brain.
Yeah.
So I was like, Liz is going to love this.
Wait, it was Dong?
Yeah, there was dong. There was that guy that they murdered in the village who just comes out full fucking dick out.
Yeah, okay, fair. Actually, that was another compliment. I really liked all the man candy. They did a lot of like semi-naked to naked men in this film that were pretty fit. And they didn't really do that so much for the women, I don't think. So I'm all for female empowerment.
Here it is, John Cena and Y-fronts.
Yeah, mate. I'm there.
Wasn't the Dong guy wearing a shirt? Like,
No. Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
doesn't make sense.
I was just staring at his dong. I couldn't tell if it... Wait, what? What? What the fuck are we talking about? Kahu, your turn. Your turn.
My turn.
Dong.
I agree, Liz. I like the colours, especially the scene where Harley escapes captivity. It's a bit like that scene at the end of Kingsman. It has like all the flowers exploding and all of that. That was quite cool. Bad thing, the pacing of this movie is just really bad at some points. It just kind of meanders quite a bit, probably between 30 minutes and an hour and a half, I reckon, when they're making their way to the city. And then the whole bit where Harley is kind of, one of them seducing the other one with the president guy, it didn't really add a whole lot to the plot. It just seemed to be an overly complicated way of killing that guy off.
It was like a really odd, weird scene that didn't need to be in here, and it's almost like that would be the perfect time to go for a piss because it doesn't add anything to the film. And it's like you've just answered one of my questions for me later on.
Yeah, well, there you
Perhaps
go.
you could cut that out and answer it properly later on.
No. There you go, Nerdtrovert. Special
What's
shout
your
out to him.
Oh, no, I've got another good thing.
Okay, well, let's say it.
I like the Pokemon Staryu type baddie. It was just
Starro!
cool. Yeah, Starro. It was just utterly ridiculous when they do the zoom out for the first time and you see Staryu and
Starro.
Starro in all its glory. I just thought it was just totally bonkers, but great. And so an overall score for me, 6,800 javelins.
I'm surprised.
I liked it.
You told me you didn't.
No, I got out of the movie and I was just really unsure of if I liked it or not. And I think, it's the type of movie I could easily watch again.
Yeah.
But yeah, pacing let it down probably 1,000 javelins.
Staryu. Hey, just as an aside, are you still playing Pokemon Go?
Hey, I'm not supposed to share that. No, I'm not.
Oh, me and my son went out playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did last longer
I've
than you.
spoken to your
that,
wife. She
think,
told me that you're full of shit, that you don't actually go out there with your son. It's just you and Spanky out there.
He doesn't even have a son.
Yeah, exactly. Son left for university 3 years ago, Co.
I probably kept going on that about a year longer than most, but no.
There's nothing wrong with that. You do you, baby boo.
Talking about compliments, here's my one. Alba crushed. John Cena crushed. Viola Davis crushed. Margot Robbie crushed. All of them, even Kinnaman crushed. I hated Kinnaman in the first one. As Stacey reminded me today because she went back and listened to our second episode that we ever did on this podcast, in which she gave Suicide Squad a score of 1 out of 10,000.
Wow.
Classic episode that's been hidden behind a paywall because it was incredibly shit audio quality. We sat around an iPhone and recorded it. But it's out there now for you listeners. If you guys want to go and check it out.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I don't think.
That was my first thing. Like, I love the performances in this. Like, after John Cena's fucking nosedive of a turn that was Fast and Furious 9.
Yeah.
We've talked about that for enough. It was awesome to see him in this playing like an awesome role. The bad thing, it's about 30 minutes longer than it needed to be. I sent Stacey to the movie so that me, Kahu, and Stacey could do an episode on it. Stacey came home from the movies, the door flew open, the curtain came open. Without a breath, she was like, "It was so long, why didn't you tell me?" It's like, how the fuck am I supposed to fucking what? You've never told me when things are too long before, Stacey, so yeah. Anyway.
I didn't actually think it was that long. Like, I mean, there were definitely bits where it was a bit slow, but there's been other movies where I've felt that much worse.
I just found scenes like that one that he's talking about, the Margot Robbie scene. It didn't add anything to the film, I don't think. Like, she could have gone from being kidnapped to being a prisoner and it wouldn't have made any difference. Yeah. And like Nanawe finding those weird alien creatures and playing with them in the pool and stuff. I was like, what the fuck is this adding to the film?
Yeah.
There were scenes like that I feel like could have been scrapped and it would have been a much more tighter of a film. And then
character development?
I suppose
Nanawe was a pretty deep character.
Oh, he was amazingly deep, yeah. And then, final good thing, yeah, it was batshit insane. I loved it. I loved how fucking insane it was. I loved that it leaned hard into its R rating. It didn't pull any punches. It was a massive turn from the first that was just pretty average. So, but that being said, like, I'm not that enamored with it. Like, a lot of the early reactions is like, this is the best film from DC. This is the best DC film since Dark Knight. I don't agree with that. But yeah, I mean, as a score out of 10,000, probably 7,500. I wasn't that in love with it, but it's still enjoyable. 7,509. I've rewatched it, so I must enjoy it, but still. Anywho, let's move on.
Sounds fair.
Let's move on to our next question. This is the first of a Patreon question. Comes courtesy of our man, Chris Yenny. You're the fucking man, Chris. What is his question there, Liz?
Chris Yenny would like to know, what song would you have inserted into this film and where? And bonus points for making it as on the nose as possible.
Absolutely.
Not his bonus points. Mine.
Well, I won't have it on the nose, but it'll be on the eye. So have it
What?
have it when Harley's lining up with the javelin right at the end for the kill shot, and I would have "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds" by the Beatles, and so should
I
be
like that.
yeah it should be going. How does it go? Look for the girl with the sun in her eyes, and then she's gone, and then it goes dum dum, and then she lands in the eye, and it goes "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds."
I actually really like
Yeah,
that.
that's
really good.
That would be great because it really fits with her whole aesthetic and her
Yeah,
vibe and stuff
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And
Nice
she's
choice.
which she's kind of floating inside there with the rats.
Hey, talking about the scene where Harley and the president. What about a John Bon Jovi? Shot through the heart, and you're to blame. You give love a bad name.
Oh, that would
No.
be so jarring.
That is terrible.
Of course it's terrible. We're on the fucking
That is
nose.
So on the nose.
So on the
It's terrible. Although I can't really judge. I actually tested this. I put the movie on mute and then played my song against the scene, and I thought it worked pretty good.
Nerd.
Clever.
I know. Well, I was like, would this work? I was like, yes. So I am going with when the starfish gets loose and they go rogue against Viola Davis, you know, when they turn around and start going towards the starfish. That whole scene, they should put in Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of.
Okay, you've
And
won me
then-
over.
That's pretty good, right? And like as the starfish is like marching down the thing and like shooting stuff at people and they're all terrified, then you're playing the start of it, and then "Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me" kicks in just as they like go rogue.
Yeah, Rage Against the Machine's my all-time favourite band, by the way, listeners. So if anyone slides that in there, they've automatically won my affection.
I figured that would go down well with you. But it fits, you know, they've got a lot of that sort of heavy shit, and I thought that'd be good.
Yeah.
Here's one that's maybe more on the nose. Every time King Shark's on screen, they just start playing Baby
Oh,
Shark.
don't say it. Oh, God, you said it.
How good would that be?
I was drinking while you were talking, and I was like, don't fucking say it, don't say it. But I was trying. I was like, oh, please don't say it.
Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do do.
Okay, what's question number 3 there, Kahu?
Cut me off.
Okay, question 3. What scene will you remember on your deathbed?
It's definitely Alba and Cena showing up to that village and killing every one of them in like the most amazing style. And yes, Polka Dot Man as well, Ratcatcher, etc., etc., and Nanawe. They all show up, kill everyone, and then they just break into the tent and they're like, "Why did no one warn me of your presence or tell me you guys were here or whatever?" And they're just like,
Oh, we didn't see any people. There were no people.
How quickly does she get over that, though?
"Oh yeah."
What, does he
Stacey,
burp up? You know when he like burps something out?
oh, a finger with a ring on
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Is that what it
yeah.
was? Yeah.
One of Stacey's questions was going to be, how quickly does that woman get over everybody in her village now being, or, you know, resistance now being killed? Why did she get over those people so quickly? My response to that was just going to be, I don't know, but she's the dream woman. If she gets over that shit pretty good, like, that fucking fast.
Yeah, no, that was an amazing scene. I just went, though, with Harley Quinn, like you've mentioned before, fighting with all the flowers behind her. I just loved the visuality of that. And, and it just really suited her. Were they her hallucinations, or was that just meant to be like a...
Well, yeah, it was a weird
visual.
camera trick to sort of show you inside her brain what her subjective view
Yeah.
looks like of the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It's almost like
Yeah.
you watched that on YouTube. Not
Hey,
long
shut
ago,
up.
Sam.
Nice. I'd rather her
fuck up, Kahu.
hallucinations than Polka Dot Man and seeing his mother everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I love
And
that.
his mother just cracked me up for how average she looked. Like she just was such just the average housewife. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's that javelin to the eye again. It was like the Starro could kind of see it coming and its eye widened.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the Eye of Sauron at the end of Lord of the Rings.
Nerd.
But I was also thinking, like, what a massive defensive Achilles heel. You're basically just a giant eye. Like, somebody's got to wreck that for you
to
at
be
some
fair,
point.
he was probably okay up until the rats like came in and started like gnawing at his like, I don't know, whatever you call those blood vessels or whatever.
Yeah,
his like nervous system.
brain,
Yeah,
yeah.
his brain
So-
matter.
You know, that's quite a weird coincidence that someone would have a javelin and also like a million rats.
Yeah, true.
You got to
I guess.
wonder though, like the first fighter jet that shows up that just missiles him in the eye. Surely
Yeah.
that's, the
That's
end
what
of
I was
him, you
thinking.
know? Like
yeah.
the city is mine. 20 minutes later,
Yeah.
like fucking calamari or whatever flying everywhere,
Yeah.
basically. Anyway, moves us over to question number 4. Comes courtesy of our man Nedrovert. I've already answered it. But for you guys, what was the perfect time for a bathroom break?
I reckon the fighting over Milton. It was quite funny, but it was like
Yeah.
it didn't add anything additional.
Who the hell is Milton?
He's been with us the whole time.
Oh,
then
he was
what?
Bloodsport's character's name. Oh, yes.
That was quality when she was like, "You're Milton. We've literally just talked about this." That was actually really good.
Yeah, I just think it was that whole meandering point again when they're on their way to town. A lot of the character interactions there seemed a bit forced and
Yep.
like didn't really add a lot to the film. I mean, was Ratcatcher really best friends with Polka Dot Man? Who knows? And Flag and Harley were best mates. I was like, oh, I wouldn't have picked that. After
I
watching the
quite
film.
liked that relationship. I quite liked Harley and Flag being, you know, like
Yeah, but it just felt like it was not
unnecessary.
forced, but
yeah.
kind of made to be closer than they actually would have been in that short period of time.
You must take really
Yeah,
quick
there was no
slashes if it's just
context to
two
it.
people talking for 10 seconds.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you whether I needed to see the first film for all that bit to make sense.
Oh, right. Not really.
And yeah, because I was just like, hey, how are they all of a sudden so close? They're basically mercenaries.
I don't think they were that close in the first film as well, though I have tried to drink the first film out of my memory over the last 4 or 5 years with a hell of a lot of grain liquor, so yeah. It was shit.
So's your face. What's the next question?
You shouldn't type it. That's the next question. How would you like to
It's
murder
not a
Liz?
question.
I would, thank you. Next question, what is it?
All right, question 5. What character just clearly needed to get laid?
I mean, it's got to be Polka Dot Man. Poor guy.
Does it?
Like, nobody's going to want to wake up to that.
Oh yeah, the creepy
Like,
virus.
yeah, creepy virus and potential to be totally eviscerated.
I was about to say, like, yeah, he probably needs to get laid, but what happens when he, you know, we've seen him vomit, we've seen him shoot it out of his hand. Is there just going to be a
True.
swollen corpse? As well, Kahu, here's the other thing. If you take him home and start sleeping with Kahu, he's going to start calling you mama
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. He's not going to be able to get her out of his head.
Yeah,
Total mother issues. Yeah.
all
Yeah,
sorts of
Oedipus
trauma
complex.
for that guy.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
Starro, motherfucker's been trapped in
yeah.
30 fucking years.
Yeah.
Do starfish have sex?
Well, that's
feel like
what
they're asexual, aren't they?
I wondered. Yeah, because I had that thought too, and then I thought, well, it's clearly reproducing by itself. Maybe it's
No, but
you
that's
know,
parts of itself. Maybe.
No,
Maybe
yeah,
it's
those
got both
weren't-
parts.
Those weren't progeny. They were very specific. Those weren't
Yeah.
progeny. So yeah, I don't
True,
know. I
true.
thought maybe they're the ones that like leave like shit in the water, and then another one floats along and picks it up or something. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea how starfish reproduce.
Maybe Star is just one of a kind.
Well, it's I don't know. Like I
How
feel like he needs to get
lonely.
laid, but at the same time, he has been inserting himself into several hundred people for 30 odd something years.
Maybe it's the same thing.
Maybe it's the same thing. That also being said, like not only has it been trapped for 30 years, it's been floating around in space. And like he says, I was happy doing that. And maybe that's because he was just like a social outcast. He didn't have any friends. He never got laid. Left his planet. Just wanted to float around in space, just having a good time. And then these assholes come and fucking steal him from bloody space.
Yeah, that was a bit of a kind of offbeat tragic ending, eh? That they
It
hadn't.
was massive.
That they
I feel
hadn't-
legitimately sorry for him. He's been
Yeah.
experimented on for 30 years. He just wanted that city. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, it hadn't been alluded to at all earlier,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was a bit grim.
You're starting to get a real tendency for sympathising with the villain of the beast, Sam. The first Jaws, now this.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, it's like, you know, like a starfish is like another name for a butthole. So do you reckon that's got anything to do with it?
No. I would say Harley Quinn clearly needed to get laid, because when she did get laid, she then turned back into the badass bitch we love. And that's why I didn't mind the whole thing with the president guy. Because at the start I was actually kind of like, she just doesn't feel like my Harley Quinn. And she just was a bit like, you know, she was chatting up the boys and she was just not, there was just something about her. I was just like, I'm not really buying it. And then pretty much the minute she shot him and went on that insane spiel and then like just kicked ass all the way out of that palace, I was like, bam, bitch, there's my girl. So,
yeah. So there's been a lot of discourse on the internet about whether this movie was a massive step back for Harley Quinn. And I feel like that scene...
disagree.
Yeah, I feel like I can see what you're saying about the scene. I can see what people are saying. Like, she did feel like she was just in there in a contrived motion to get her like all sort of sexed up and at that, you know, and in a nice dress and looking hot sort of thing. But at the same time, like, we all get wrapped up in the moment sometimes, and she did. She got wrapped up with this guy who was like, I'm anti-America, just like you are, and then offered her the world. So she sort of went along with it. And then you're right, like, she just turned into a full-fledged badass.
Yeah, then she went, you know, I want to get laid. This guy's hot. He's offering me to be queen of a country or whatever. So I could see her, she would just be like, yeah, this seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Until he started talking about killing kids or whatever. And then she was like, no, not having that. And bam. And I love how she was just like, I get that you're saying I could just walk away. And the guy's just like,
Not saying a fucking thing.
But I just don't think that's right, because, you know, you would have turned on me. It's just great, like how she was blathering away at him.
Yeah,
Just quality.
That guy's angle seemed like a bit weird though as well.
Yeah, that was
whole thing.
really weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, that was weird, but I liked it just for that sole reason, because I loved her, like, getting a way out. And that she didn't need help, and that all lined up all this whole plan. She was just like, what's up?
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing.
Absolutely loved her in this film. Moves us over to question number 6. Patreon question comes courtesy of our man Nick Haskins of Nikolis Kitchen, a cooking podcast that is not just cooking, it's all about embracing life and being the best you can be. It's an awesome podcast. What's this question?
Thanks, Nick. What type of meal is this movie?
It's basically downing a whole bunch of Pop Rocks or Mentos and then following it up with a massive bottle of Coke, because it's fucking mental and it does crazy things to your insides.
I went similar, combining two weird things, but I'm going with chicken and waffles.
Ooh.
Because
Wow.
I would never combine them. Like, it's kind of, to me, a hot mess, but actually it works pretty well. And it's kind of crazy. It's American. It's very American, but it's supposedly good.
I dig what you're saying. My one is like hot chips and ice cream. Like, they're not supposed to go together, but fuck, they're delicious.
Oh, like McDonald's fries, and you dip it in your McDonald's sundae.
Yeah. It's the only time
McDonald's
McDonald's
has not
is tasty.
sponsored us for this podcast, though.
No, we are fully fledged KFC. I'm fucking 5 pieces KFC
Yeah, you're
deep at this
KFC.
point.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I've literally had like 5 pieces of hot and spicy chicken tonight, which
That
Kahu
doesn't
will
even
attest to.
surprise me at all.
Yeah, we did. It's an M&M sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah, just get as many M&Ms in there as you can and slap them in a sandwich. Needs some kind of boundaries, and that's what the bread's for.
I don't know what your wife has been making you cook for dinner at night, Kahu, but this is sounding
I
incredibly...
think it's legit, because it's hilariously stupid, it's colourful, and it's gross.
Yeah.
So you've
exactly.
literally come up with a meal that describes
Well done,
my
Kahu.
3 points.
Nailed the question. Hope you like
Man.
that one, Nick.
Congratulations.
Excellent.
Cool. Moves us over to question number 7. Which character from this film would fall for a pyramid scheme?
Clearly Nanawe, because he can't even read.
Okay, so we all had Nanawe down, right? I talked about it, but like I was like, I bet you Liz is going to have Nanawe. Have you got Nanawe? And Kahu's like, yes, I had Nanawe. And I was like, okay, Nanawe is obvious answer.
Well, he can't even read.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're going to be like, sign here, friend. And he'll be like, pen.
Exactly.
Sign. Nom nom.
And like even Ratcatcher just being like, I want to be your friend. Do you want to be our friend? Okay. It's like,
Yeah. 2 minutes ago,
I like how they were like,
you.
I could spot this. And the other guy's like, yeah, I've got a sight on this. And he's like, bird. And they're like, no, I stay off the airwaves. That was quality.
he was good. My backup answer would have been TDK. Like that guy is like utterly convinced
That was so dumb.
I know, he's utterly convinced that he's awesome, and he's like, watch this. And it just like arms inching forward, slapping the other guys and not really doing anything except a mild inconvenience.
What?
I was like, that guy is a fucking moron.
Why
was
didn't he
just
just
waiting-
have a gun attached to each hand?
Oh,
And then you just go up to people and shoot them from a distance.
shooting around.
I was waiting for it to be something else. Like, okay, so his arms is attached, they're floating there, and that looks kind of weird, but they're going to do something really cool. No.
Or like
no, they
sabotage
didn't.
one of their tanks to kill them all or something. I don't know. Just actually anything than flying hands.
I actually think if I had a backup answer, it's Harley Quinn. Because,
Really?
if you sold it to her in the right way, I think she'd go for it. I know she's really smart, but she's also really, like, impulsive and then enthusiastic, so...
I had Blackguard.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Because
Oh, that's the idiot that, like, sold them all out. Yeah,
he's
fair
supposed to be some kind of mercenary or soldier, right?
Who knows?
So he clearly should know his way around a battle, and even an amateur would know that don't be the first one to go charging up a beach that you can't see what's on the other side.
Not to mention, though, that shows up there and he's like, hey, everyone. Hey, it's me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, put it together. Like, how the fuck did you contact these people and sell out this group? Unless Amanda Waller has set you up to do that.
Yeah.
You know, like what? You've got no privileges whatsoever in a prison. Yet he's been told in 3 days you're going to go to this beach. Cool. I'll get in contact with them. Oh, how did you do that? Oh, this fucking radio fell into my hands or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how much of a fucking moron is this guy?
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought that was all bollocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
The one that I thought would be terrible, and then I thought, actually, no, he's the smartest cat in this picture, is Weasel. He pretends to be dead the entire movie, which is the smartest move in the entire movie.
That was terrible.
Does he pretend to be dead? One of my questions was going to be, who gives a fuck about Weasel? Because then we
That was
see him at the
weirdest
end.
fucking thing.
Yeah.
This fucking werewolf-looking fucking thing. He's like, comes back to life and then runs away, and I'm like, why? Why do we care about this? Why do we give a fuck about this guy? Who cares about him?
He
He
looks like
doesn't look like a werewolf,
he looks like a famished, oversized rat.
He looks like a dog.
which is
Yeah.
basically
What sort of
a
fucking
weasel
dog,
is.
looks like that?
Clearly an Afghan hound.
Yeah, clearly.
What kind of Afghan hound do you know that has fingers or is it thumbs? I can't remember.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, let's move over to question number 8.
Question number 8 is, what was the biggest dick move of the movie?
It's Major General Mateo Suarez setting all the birds on fire. What
Yes.
an absolute dick.
What a fuckwit.
How was that necessary?
Yeah. Like, the guy
Because
was
weren't they,
already
like, best
dead.
friends?
So, well, yeah, and the guy was already dead. So it was like, who
Yeah.
cares? You're not getting him back. He's already dead. Just let them go if you don't like them.
He was like a brother to me, but I'm going to set on fire everything he loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
The one for me, I mean, yeah, like just sending in this whole other group, sending in Flag to die, sending in Harley Quinn to die. These are some of your heavy hitters, and you've just Amanda Waller's just sent them off as a distraction, which we realised pretty quickly. But on top of that too is like they send in a couple of them without checking what they can do. You know, like they don't figure out the Weasel can't fucking swim.
Yeah, Weasel can swim.
And then like Michael Rooker, that he gets there on the beach. You know, what was his character's name?
Savant.
Savant. Like Savant. We get an intro to Savant. He's clearly accurate, knows how to throw a ball and all this other shit. Then as soon as Savant gets on the beach, he's like looking around, everyone's got guns, and he's like, fuck, I don't have fucking anything.
Yeah.
You know, It's like they just clearly set these guys up to fail, which is obviously a dick move. On top of that is betting on these guys as to which one's going to die.
Yeah.
All the office staff betting on who's going to fucking die. They're just as bad as Amanda Waller.
Yeah. How weird was it, though, that all these kind of relatively well-known actors just died in the first 10 minutes?
Oh, it was amazing, right? Nathan
I like
Fillion,
that.
TDK, dead.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
it, Flula Borg? I love that it was Flula Borg, and I love that he, died really early on. So
Yeah.
But yeah, like Nathan Fillion, I thought that was amazing. that he
Yeah,
died so
yeah.
soon.
As well as Pete Davison, who we've mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
And, Joe Courtney.
Yeah, Joe Courtney. Boomerang! Poor Boomerang! Oh, yeah. See ya. Bye. Get out of here, you Australian.
Yeah, we're fine with that.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, question 9, Kahu.
Question 9.
Oh,
Hey, this is also a Patreon question. Comes courtesy of our man, Dave Baker. Dave has his own Patreon as well at patreon.com/your favorite. On it, he posts a ton of awesome content, like video essays on Medium, stuff like that. It's all awesome. Go check it out. There's a link down the show notes. What have we got there, Kahu?
Awesome, Dave. Thanks. What 2 characters would you want with you at a house party?
Nobody! Is that an easy answer? Yes, that's the easiest answer. So I'm going to go with the head of the resistance. She seems like she's probably going to be pretty fucking miserable. Where like 99% of her team's been wiped out, but probably her. And then, I mean, Captain GC. You've got to have Captain GC. Milton. He's the best dude in this fucking film.
I had Milton too.
Oh, he's the man.
He could be the sober driver.
Exactly. He's got a bus. He can drive you around. He like just runs around after you, takes care of shit, picks up a shotgun, gets excited, hands out empanadas to everyone. Fuck, he's the man.
Yeah, you really wouldn't
love a
want
good
any of these
empanada,
people at your
actually.
house, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I disagree. I'm having Ratcatcher too because she's such a lovely person.
She would stink, Liz. Come on, man. She would leave shit everywhere. She'd bring a flock of rats
It's
to
just for a party. And no, I'd ask you to, like, if she could make sure the rats didn't come inside the house. And
those rats are going to come inside your house, Liz. They are going to come everywhere inside your house.
Gross, Sam. And my other answer is, hear me out, Polka Dot Man. Because he'd be great to jazz up the dance floor.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was good in that scene.
Yeah, like when he had all that, like, oh no, but also like when he was doing his explosion-y thing, it was all very colourful and sparkly.
Let me see. Should I hire a disco ball or should I have a dude that could like destroy my entire house?
Yeah,
he gets
man,
too much,
human disco ball.
if he drinks too much and froze up, he'll just like blow a hole through the bottom of my toilet.
How much fun was he having on the dance floor, though? That was so gold.
Yeah, he was awesome. That was awesome.
Dancing with his mums.
All of his mums. He was,
I'm getting
came
in
to grips
there.
with it.
He'd be fun.
My backup answer was Harley Quinn, just so she could off Much you, because I know Much you would say something to piss her off.
Yeah.
But then I'd have to
She'd
clean
be
up
fun.
a murder. She
She'd
would be
smash
fun.
up your house just as much as any of the rest of them.
It's true.
Yep.
That's true. Final question that can be applied to any film. What was the most preposterously insane leap of logic in this film?
I think it's that all of the people that were just shooting guns at the starfish. Like, I was just like, why would you think that that would have any impact whatsoever? Like, those tiny little bullets on that giant thing that's just, like, smashed its way out of a maximum security, like, prison or whatever for itself. I just thought that was really dumb.
That scene too led into one of my backup answers, which is like Starro basically takes control over all those troops and stuff, right? And then like just goes on a rampage and said, "This city is mine," and then just leaves them. He's tried to take them over, doesn't take them over, but then just leaves the Suicide Squad there, doesn't kill them.
Yeah.
It's like I was thinking, well, is it like a thank you for freeing me? But if it was a thank you for freeing me, he wouldn't have tried to, like take them over. So what the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
He would have murdered them straight away.
Well, that's right. And it's just totally preposterous that the Suicide Squad wouldn't have got jellyfished either.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And because it can obviously happen because Ratcatcher puts the thing over her face to stop it.
yeah. Harley has no mask.
Yeah, all the others are just standing there, not even trying to hide.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my other I can't fucking say that word.
I know, that's why I have it in there just for you.
I use so much preposterous thing is generally just Harley
Preposterous.
Quinn. The fact that Harley Quinn is still alive by the end of it boggles the mind. Like the
Yeah.
amount of things she survives is ridiculous.
Even when she storms the beach and she's just like
Yes.
running up and down with thousands of guys shooting at her and like none of them hit her. And she's letting off like missile launches and stuff. I was like, oh, really?
And the way the tower collapses. Like,
yeah. Oh, yes.
that she survives that, but also the way the tower collapsed at all was pretty bullshit.
Yeah.
She doesn't drown in Starro's eye as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That cracks me up. The tower's like falling away one way.
Yes.
They're running faster than the tower's falling.
Yeah.
To clear the gap.
The whole lot of it was just ridiculous with that tower falling down.
Insane, yeah.
The bit that I thought was preposterous was at the end when Soria, the resistance leader, is being interviewed on TV. And the general populace of Corto Maltese are just stoked with the outcome at the end. Like,
Yeah.
thousands of people are dead. Most of the buildings are destroyed. But, hey, new government,
We got
things
rid
are
of
looking
that
up.
terrible guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if Wellington got nuked and then we just see Liz on the news like, yeah, I'm now Prime Minister. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't want to be Prime Minister. Imagine all the mean things people would say about you.
But you know what I mean. It's like everyone
Yes.
celebrating. Hey! It's like, what the fuck?
No, it'd be like if everyone was celebrating because I was Prime Minister.
Yeah.
It's not me. I don't know. What's your terrible leap of logic? I'm not saying that word again.
Good. The one I'm going to throw out Stacey's one. Stacey's one was the fact that they get caught inside the nightclub, and then he says to him, "Hey, meet us at this point here." And then they meet them at that point there. You know, when they free themselves and they get out of the van and stuff like that. How was he going to know where they were going to be? How the fuck? He's never been to this island before. He doesn't know where they're going to take them. He doesn't know what road is going to lead there. But he's like, hey, meet us at this point at this fucking time.
Or like the exact moment that they'd knock the van off the road and that the van would like fall down the road and all of those bits.
Take out the other two vans with like random cars or careen into the right place. Yeah, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
And I must admit that was up there for me. My other one was just like Amanda Waller takes a fucking golf club to the head, and then all the rest of her office staff take over control. And they're all like, hey, do this, and all that sort of shit. And then we see a scene of Amanda Waller at the end talking to Bloodsport or whatever, and like some of her office staff are there. In the original Suicide Squad movie, we saw her kill all her staff just for the fucking fun of it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, any of those office staff are still alive after golf clubbing her in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe she's softened up a little. You know?
Oh, yeah. The golf club definitely softened up her forehead.
Really like it. Yeah. Maybe she had concussion. That's what it was. Just hadn't quite got around to killing them all yet.
Yeah, exactly. To know where she was. Or any idea what the fuck she was doing. She was just like, oh, yeah, that's cool, Bloodsport. Do whatever you want. Did you know my name's Ronald McDonald? I invented the hot and spicy chicken at KFC. Like, what?
Someone's got food on the mind.
Oh, I do. I want another piece of it and some inside. So let's get moving, eh?
Well, it's your questions next.
It is. It's on to me for my questions. Okay, here's one for you. Here's a fun one. I want you guys to put together a team of 4 Suicide Squad members. And I want you guys to name 3 that you'd want on your team and 1 you wouldn't. But don't tell me who they are. I want to try and guess which one out of them you guys just wouldn't want on your team.
Okay. Harley Quinn, Ratcatcher 2, Polka Dot Man, and Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
No, he was really good. He had all the cool guns and stuff. Plus, he was hot.
I don't get this. You've talked how awesome Harley Quinn is. You've talked about how awesome Ratcatcher is. You've talked about how awesome you want Polka Dot Man at your party. You've been luring me on this entire podcast.
I would not want Ratcatcher actually on my Suicide Squad because I'm the same as Bloodsport. I fucking hate rats. They're gross.
But you want her at your party.
Yeah.
That was really
in your house
to fuck you over for this question.
Good. Okay. Well done. Well played, Liz.
You're going to guess mine easy. So I've got Sol Sawyer, the Resistance leader, King Shark, Starro, and Javelin.
Yeah, well, these were all terrible.
Yeah, I feel like...
What's terrible about Starro?
Well, to be fair, the first one's not even a member of a Suicide Squad, and neither is your Starro.
She kind of is.
I do feel
No, but it's forming my Suicide Squad.
Oh, well, then I could have said, like,
characters in
Barack
the film.
Obama.
No, but they have to be in the film.
Characters in the film.
It didn't say that in the question.
I mean, Barack is great, but would you have him on your Suicide Squad?
I didn't say he was the one
What the
that
fuck
I
is Barack Obama going to do on your Suicide Squad?
He'll
I didn't
talk
say he's the one
really
that
eloquently.
Yeah.
Yes, that is his superpower. So there.
Wear a tan suit.
He wears it really well.
I feel like it's going to be the Resistance leader because you're scared of strong, confident women.
That is not true. Kahu likes me just fine.
Yeah, he's terrified. It's like a terrified lust that he has for them. So
Can I guess?
No, it's got to be Javelin, right?
No, I think it's Starro. Because you couldn't control him.
True. But
No, Kahu's a bit of a thinker. He's
No, it's definitely Javelin. He's the most useless superhero I've ever seen.
or supervillain.
Hey, detachable arms, man.
That's TDK.
It's a different character.
At least TDK actually slapped the dude. Javelin didn't do anything.
And I was
a javelin that was useful.
I was talking to Sam about this before. Like, best case scenario, Javelin kills one guy before he gets killed. And he can't retrieve his javelin anyway, so it's not like a homing javelin. Yeah.
It's not even like boomerang, where at least the boomerang comes back.
Exactly.
In this movie, he's basically the Marty from Captain Planet.
Yeah.
He's hopeless.
Heart. Dead.
The fuck is Heart? Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
What do you guys reckon he was actually saying to Harley? Like, he's like, carry this for. Like, who do you reckon he was carrying it for? What do you reckon he was carrying it for? Because unless his superpower was, hey, when I die, I can see the fucking future. Which is making you even more fucking useless.
It's a one-time only offer.
Exactly. Better pick a perfect time to die. Hey, I'm about to go buy a lotto ticket. Hang on, let me just slip my wrist.
I think it was just going to be like, carry this for your honor or your protection or something bullshit like that.
Or probably just for me.
For me.
Yeah.
He probably wanted to know his pole was in one woman's hands after he died. One last time.
We should move on.
Let's keep going. Yes. Who we got? Who we got next?
It's your questions.
Oh, yeah, shit. Sorry.
Do you not know how your podcast works?
I'm fucking tired, man.
What number episode is this? Like 160?
Where are we?
You're Sam, you're the
175.
host.
Okay, moving on to my next question. What death surprised you the most, and what survival also surprised you?
I think the death that surprised me the most was the Peacemaker, because it was John Cena, and like he's a pretty solid, well-known dude, and and he seemed like quite a good superhero, so I kind of thought, oh yeah, they'll keep him around for future. So I was surprised that he died.
Someone has not seen the post-credit scene in which it is revealed that he is still alive.
What?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, I didn't because I was rushing to record this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Rude. Okay, well, then I have to pick another one, do I?
No, that's fine. Stacey said the same thing, so no, that's
okay,
fine.
Excellent. And my surprised survival was Weasel, because he killed kids. You can't bring back a superhero that kills kids.
Hence why I was saying before, who gives a fuck about Weasel? This motherfucker's killed 23 kids.
Yeah,
why are we cheering for him? Yeah. Yay, the child murderer is still alive.
I wasn't. I was like, what the fuck when that happened? Yeah, like if he hadn't woken up at the end, it was going to be Harley Quinn for the reasons I said before, because that's ridiculous. There's no way she should have survived everything.
Yeah, I'd agree with Weasel surviving as well. It was funny because at the time when we were watching it, I thought, oh, Weasel's just going to wake up at some point. That just seems like a stupid death.
Yeah, he's just going to weasel his way out of here.
Yeah. But then at the end when he did wake up, and I was like, oh, I was actually kind of surprised because he was such a pointless character.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to pick a real death that surprised me, it probably would have been the one where Harley Quinn kills the president, because I didn't expect that at the time.
Yeah.
The death that surprised me was Polka Dot Man. Not the surprise that he died, just the manner of it. It's like,
funny.
Wow, game over for you.
I'm a superhero.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
It was kind of his own fault, actually, because he was the one that destabilized the starfish in the first place, so that's why the starfish had to move and stomp on him, right? So,
Yeah.
kind of brought it on yourself, friend. But I'm glad he got a happy death. Like, he was happy.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, he went out in
And
a
then he died.
happy sense.
Yeah.
Okay, my final question. Would you eat a whole bitch of dicks for liberty?
How long is a piece of string? Without clear parameters, I'm uncomfortable answering this question.
Okay, so a small beach.
No, that's it. I'm not answering this question.
I think I'd have to be in
Do you hate liberty, Liz?
tight white Y-fronts. I mean, yeah, exactly. How big is this beach? I mean, just wouldn't have the time.
It's a small cove.
I mean, you must have seen that Silicon Valley episode with the dick to floor ratio.
Yeah, yes, I have.
I mean, it's the
Yes,
same kind of concept.
yeah.
I just don't think you're going to have time.
No, and also, when would this ever happen? It's a ridiculous concept. It's one that would never happen. So I refuse.
You tell the movie that, Liz. I've got no idea. It was so bizarre. It was so out of there. Like, he just suddenly brings it up. Even if this beach was covered in dicks, I would eat it for liberty. It's like, well, how the fuck does your brain go there?
I don't think that was the weirdest thing in this movie, though.
Oh, it was up there. Probably the weirdest thing said, but not the weirdest thing that happened in this film, no.
I guess so, yeah. All right. It's my time to ask questions now. And from number 14, I'm going to ask, whose side are you on with regards to releasing the tapes?
No one. I just want to live in blissful ignorance.
Fair enough.
So you're
You know-
Bloodsport.
Yeah, Bloodsport, yeah.
I'm all on Peacemaker's side with this. No,
Keep government secrets.
no, other way around. Sorry, I got that wrong.
Release government secrets.
Rick Flag,
Yeah.
you say get it out there.
Yeah, Rick
Whistle
Flag.
blow.
Chaos is a ladder. Release the Star Arrow cut.
What the fuck?
I don't think I would, just because I don't trust journalists. I don't think they'd do it in a responsible way. So unless I had someone who I felt would manage it appropriately.
Yeah, it'll
It's a
probably
bit
just
risky.
get labelled as fake news, and then you'll be like, oh, shit.
Yeah. For me, it's
Well, you
like,
wouldn't be because your head would have probably been blown off by the, explosive in the back of your head.
Yeah,
exactly.
Question 15. Is there a grosser/weirder villain in a superhero movie other than the starfish?
The only one I can think of is for a movie that you keep pushing for me and Machu to do, which is Edgar in Men in Black. You know, the giant cockroach inhabiting a human skin, and he just gets fucking weirder and weirder and grosser and grosser. He's up there. I don't know if he beats Starro, who, like, I don't want to get into it.
Such an unexpected and weird and gross villain. Like when all the gross, like, little things with strings were coming out.
Oh, the tentacle porn. Yeah, that was fucking weird.
And the good thing was that you knew it was coming, but when it was finally got on screen in all its glory, it was just brilliant.
Oh, yeah. What about, can you think of anything, Kahu, or is this?
Yeah, so mine's less gross and more weird, and it's Mr. Stay Puft from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
This movie is
pretty
the
odd.
same kind of theme.
It's good. I like creative shit, but I just did. Like, who thought of it, eh? Like, who went, what should we make the villain in this? How about an alien starfish that's really giant and shoots out little baby starfish out of its armpits to take over people's faces? Yeah, okay. That sounds good.
So Starro is obviously a character in the DC Comics universe, and when James Gunn got approached by Warner Brothers and they said, hey, we want you to make a film, you can make any film you want. And he's like, can I make a film where Superman dies? And they go, yeah, you can do anything you want. And he said, okay, I want to make a Suicide Squad film and I want to have Starro as the villain. And they're like, okay, cool, go ahead, do whatever you want. And that's how we got this. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
We got a guy that knows the DC universe so much that he could chuck all these random DC characters in, and there's literally, I don't know, like 50 named DC characters in this. You know, I don't know how many. Maybe not that many, but
did all of them exist, or like when like known characters already?
Yeah. So all of them are, but they're all like lesser villains. Like, there's Harley Quinn is obviously the like biggest name out of all of them, and then King Shark he's kind of popular, but not nearly as popular. Harley Quinn by miles. After that, there's a massive drop off.
I worked that out. I mean, clearly you were going to have like, the detachable kid. Sorry, I just can't get past that guy.
TDK.
Like the star.
What does it stand for? The letters. The letters in your name.
Your name's just letters?
All names have letters.
All names are just letters.
The best part about that guy, too, was he's concentrating really hard to get his arms to slap those two.
Yeah. Fucking love it.
Oh, it was just so hilariously stupid. All right, and then number 16 is my last question, and it is, if you were a taxi driver, would you pick up a bloodied Harley Quinn?
So this was a Stacey question that we've managed to weasel our way into this.
Yeah, Sam made me ask it. He better have a good
great
answer.
question. What about you? Would you go first, Kahu? Would you pick her up? She's standing on the side of the road in a red dress that's ripped up, covered in blood, javelin in one hand.
Yeah. Javelin is the red flag right there. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, if she's not the crazy one, then the crazy one's nearby. So.
Yeah, fair call.
I mean,
if she didn't cause the blood, someone did.
I've got good deniability there too. If someone asks later, I just go, she had a motherfucking javelin. Wouldn't fit in my car.
Big javelin. Yeah, it was just practicality.
We've got like a $250 fine if you get blood on the seats or any other type of fluids or anything. So it's kind of like, but the one for me, I'd totally pick her up. And it's not for the reason these guys are thinking, because the standard Machu answer is like,
perv.
Yeah, like, look how gorgeous she is. Of course you're going to pick her up, whether she's, got a bloody nose or whatever. It's because she's recognizable. People know who she is. She's famous. You know what I mean? Like, this entire island loves her because she's anti-US. So there is like a level of 20%, oh my God, that's a celebrity, it'd be awesome to pick her up. 80% more, if I don't pick her up in one of her most desperate moments, what the fuck is she going to do to me? I don't want to get javelined while driving my taxi through the fucking streets.
Yeah, she'll javelin you through the back window.
I'd rather pick her up and risk the chance of pissing her off than not pick her up and definitely piss her off.
Okay. I thought you were going to say you were going to pick her up because you're a good person, and I knew you were just telling lies.
That's bullshit. Yeah, we wouldn't have bought that for a second.
Curiously, Stacey pointed this out, it would be the opposite of the guy that was driving past Samara Weaving's character in Ready or Not, when she's bloodied on the street in a dress and she's like waving him down. He's like, oh, fuck that, drives off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's me.
Yep.
Go, your turn.
Okay, that's over to me. My first question, and we haven't really talked about this character at all, but how does the Thinker sleep at night? As in, how does he actually lay his head down to sleep?
You talking about the guy with a bunch of shit in his face?
Yeah. Sparkplug
Or in his
Doctor Who.
head. I think they clearly made him like a special pillow that had like very specific gaps, and then it like he puts it on his head and it holds in place, and then he can't really move it around at night. It's just a very special pillow.
Like a little groove hole? I was thinking that as well. It's like a pillow of little grooves and holes and stuff all over it. That
Yeah,
Well, maybe he's a tummy sleeper.
there is that. I was thinking that he like sort of just basically puts those like boots on that you put around your like they sort of go up to around your knees, and then you sort of just hang yourself from the fucking ceiling.
like gravity boots.
Yeah, like gravity boots. How the fuck else? Like, come on, man. He sleeps on like one of those skydiving machines. You know, they blow the wind underneath you. He puts some headphones on so he can't hear shit, earplugs his ears, and then just gets blown by a fan. Not a fan of his, like by a proper fan. He just gets blown by it, and he just like lies in the middle of the air floating.
I actually missed what those things were, like, because he had less of them in the flashback.
He said they make his brain good. You know what I mean? Like
Yes, I got that part, but like, so that was never explained.
No, there was only really one scene where it seemed like he was actually smarter than everybody else, which is he was kind of saying, oh, this is the type of person you are, or this is what you're going to do next or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember what exactly it was about, but all the rest of the time he was just an average dude with stuff stuck to his head.
With creepy shit coming out of his head.
Definitely was a thinker and not a doer.
Yeah. My second question. Are the first crew that land on the island the most useless superheroes of all time?
Clearly, you have not seen the first Suicide Squad film, because they probably are. Even though like the Mystery Men, they seem pretty fucking useless.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely the worst superheroes of all time, or at least for Suicide Squad purposes, would be the characters from the Misfits TV show. Have you seen that? The British one?
No.
Yeah, there's a character who can control milk. There is a character who can make people orgasm when she touches them. There is a character that can turn into a girl. There is one that goes invisible, and then there's one that can't die. And they're all just like British juvenile delinquents. So they're like not going to have any like actual military skills. So I think they'd be much worse. As being Suicide
All
Squad.
I'm hearing from you is British show, limited budget. What's some superhero powers or skills that we can show on TV that don't cost much money?
Yeah.
You know, it's not shooting fucking fireballs and shit.
We can cool. No, they did have some cool things, but yeah, no, it was just. I think the whole point of it was to be absurd like this, but really stupid thing. The one with the milk always sticks in my mind because he like killed people by getting them to eat yogurt, and then he would make the yogurt come up and like block their throats, and then they would suffocate. Like it was just the stupidest thing in the world. It's a good show. You should watch it.
Yeah.
That just seems like a real bad deal, whereas if you were controlling water, that would be awesome.
Yeah, but like milk, he could only control dairy products.
Yeah. No dairy farming in this country. Damn it. Yeah.
You'd be like, you're vegans. That's not going to help me at all. The vegans will inherit the earth.
Anyway, let's move over to Kahu's last question.
What everyday item has Peacemaker made his helmet out of?
So they keep giving him shit about how it looks like a toilet seat. And I reckon it's worse than that. I reckon it's a bedpan.
That makes more sense because toilet seats are usually white.
They are usually white, although we do see at the start of this film, Bloodsport is cleaning a toilet seat that does look like... So it's like almost like a throwback to that. But at the same time, like it's too shiny and metal and, you know, it's like too round and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so it looks like a bedpan that's been sort of changed. Although that does remind me of one of the other scenes that I thought was amazing, which is when they shot that scene of the two, of Flag and Cena fighting, you know, and they shot it through the reflection of the helmet. I was like, that is pretty awesome. Like to like block it so that you can't see the camera and the reflection and everything like that. That was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I just figure like a hubcap. Like I think he just stole it off a car he walked past and then made it somehow work into a helmet because it's the same kind of shiny.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Like those ones that you find on the side of the road.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of them and mashed them together.
100% polished it up. Boom, helmet.
Anywho, that takes us down to our final question, which, as I mentioned, is a Patreon question. This comes courtesy of our man, Dan Brennick, of the Netflix and Swill podcast that covers all things Netflix related, movie reviews, trailers, news, all that sort of stuff, as well as obviously discussing what they're drinking. And go check them out. They're fucking awesome. Anyway, Dan's question, who was the true MVP of this movie? And it can't be the main character, and I feel like the main character in this one is hard to pick. Aside from, obviously, Bloodsport, I don't know if you could really say anyone.
Or Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, I
Either
suppose.
of those two.
They were probably the only two that had their kind of own individual scenes.
Yeah, well,
To be
nah.
honest, I think Ratcatcher 2, I think that would have been...
yeah.
She was
Yeah.
probably a pretty main character as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what are you picking?
The one that smashed Waller over the head.
With the golf club.
That's my
Yeah.
first answer.
Yeah. It's like,
That's my first answer. I have a backup because I figured one of you guys would pick that. But
Yeah.
Woman with the Pipe. Hell's yeah.
yeah. She wanted to move this movie along, and she achieved it.
She's badass. She saved liberty.
And then just her whole attitude and taking over after that as well. It's like, yes, it's your moment.
Like, I've got things to do
Take
now.
it.
Okay, just
Yeah.
get and do your shit. Yeah. I'm going with Ratcatcher 1. Because
Oh, Taika Waititi, we finally mentioned
Yeah.
him. Yay.
if Taika Waititi didn't have such a thing for rats and didn't like bring his daughter up in the ways, then they would never have been able to kill Starro because she would not have been there. So I'm calling it Kiwis save the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like we've spoken about everyone, really. I mean, Ratcatcher 2 was awesome. Milton was awesome. Harley Quinn obviously was awesome. The leader of the Resistance, she was pretty awesome too. I feel like the only one that we haven't really mentioned is Bloodsport's daughter. She was cool,
Yeah, she
man.
was badass.
She floated in for one scene and she actually motivated her dad to actually want to go out there and do something better and bigger. And she held her own.
Yeah.
You know, if I had Alba yelling abuse at me, I would cower like a little bitch.
Fuck you.
Fuck you! It's like, whoa! Like, I loved that about this film, that it stayed true to the characters. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't, like, suddenly just change them from scene to scene to scene. They just had this continuation of him just being like, I'm a fucking piece of shit. But by the end, he saw he was a leader. And he wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for his daughter. So, yeah that's it. That's the
All
one for
right.
me. Takes us to the end. So you guys don't have any other final comments you want to make before we wrap this thing up?
Did you notice that John Cena is left-handed in this movie?
Yes, I did.
didn't.
Yeah.
That's cool.
When they're kind of in the lecture hall not paying attention, he's writing with his left hand.
He was. Did you notice that vein that pops out of his bicep?
Like,
I was
actually
not
pops.
looking at his bicep when he wasn't wearing clothes. Let's just say that. I was about to say, did you notice that he was packing quite reasonably in those tidy whities?
It was kind of oddly formed and shaped. Hey, what are we? Hey, where
was
are we?
just a
I think it might be bedtime around here for Sam.
In a hot,
no
sweaty
more.
jungle, how do you have perfectly starched Y fronts?
Oh, that was spectacular.
Is it
Beautiful.
the same as Dom Toretto tears to keep your
That's
singlet
it.
white?
Yeah,
Or
Dom
your vest
Toretto
white?
tears. That's what he uses.
That
Shout-
wasn't even the best, like, shirtless dude moment, though. The best was when the president came out of that pool and just, like, walked straight out. I was just like, oh, damn. I was like, I get you, Harley. I understand where you're at. I like that we're finishing this conversation on which men were the hottest shirtless.
We haven't talked about how hot most of the women are in this, especially Mongal. She was gorgeous. Something about orange-skinned women, you know. Oh, whew.
Almost as
Anywho,
good as orange hair, right, Sam?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Everyone knows about my affinities for ginger princesses, ginger-skinned princesses. Oh my god, that's
She
like
was full on ginger.
Jeepers Christ.
Ginger on ginger.
Dream woman. Anywho, that takes us down to the end. Thank you to you guys, our listeners, for tuning in to listen to us discuss the Suicide Squad. Thank you to our patrons as well for supporting us each month and contributing cash to help this podcast keep going. You guys are fucking awesome. If anyone wants to become a Patreon, you guys can sign up down below at patreon.com/MRATQS. Got a couple of upcoming episodes that we've got planned. Me, Liz, and Stace are going to be doing Free Guy. And then after that, Liz and Machu are keen to do Men in Black. Before I sign off, I've got to thank Kahu for joining me. Thank you, Kahu. You've done well.
Thank you, Sam.
And I've also got to thank Liz. I didn't mention it at the start of the podcast, but Stacey was meant to be on this episode. She was very keen to come on and give her thoughts about Suicide Squad. It was probably going to be a shit sandwich. But Liz has filled in. Liz has gone home, watched the movie, and then come straight into recording. Filled in for Stacey. Last minute call up. Thank you so much, Liz. You've done well.
You're welcome, and thank you for actually being nice about it instead of the complete butt munch that you were in the beginning when I was trying to get set up. And my laptop started uninstalling the installation things that it had just done. I was like, fuck's sake.
You loved every minute of it.
Loved every minute.
So much. Yeah.
Cool. Also, big shout out and apologies to our patrons for this episode coming out late. We were supposed to record on the weekend, but life happened. So here we are now. So yeah, all good. Anyway, we'll see you next week. That's thanks from me.
See you next time.
Bye. Bye.